Guys, this is turning into a sick joke at this point. Alf, stop. Don't even stop it. For those of you that have recently joined the channel, thank you very much. We have a lot of new subscribers. I've really tried to focus heavily on the supply issue and what that means for us as collectors / speculators / investors. And frankly, this can range from the high end all the way to the low end, depending on what we're talking about. Because look, let's not kid ourselves. It's no secret that there is millions, multiple millions of dollars, probably billions of dollars that have entered the overall collectible space, including comic books, over the last few years. Nothing like we have ever seen before. People will say like, oh, ebbs and flows and it goes up and goes down. No, they're lying. The last 3-4 years with the inflationary stimulus money and all the stuff, all the money that was pumped into the economy, a lot of it went to collectibles. Just like you see gas and bread and all the things are inflationary, everything's inflationary, inflation, this and that, so is collectibles. You know, a lot of money went into this space thanks to nostalgia, thanks to all the stuff that comes along with it. And comic books has been no secret. Something that's really interesting here to me that I want comic book collectors to really take away, if you take away nothing else from this video, is that on the sports card side, you know, if we look at the sports trading card side, there has been kind of a misnomer. Retired players, there has been kind of some confusion around performance or what's going to make these cards go up and down. And not even just retired players, I'm misspeaking here a little bit. Veterans that are playing, and some of the new players as well, but a lot of people think it's performance on the field. Performance on the field makes the prices move, which it did going back a few years because we were in an extremely volatile, like all the slush money is pumped in the market type of environment. It's not that way anymore, but how do we translate that from sports cards over to comic books? Movies and TV shows. So a lot of the spec and the hype and all the, oh my God, the prices, X-Men 97, you know, all that, all the short-term hype stuff, it's come from movies and it's come from TV series. And I know this firsthand because I started buying graded comic books in 2018. And even going back to 2018, there was still that spec money. That wasn't the height of the market. That wasn't when we saw the kind of the big comic book boom. 2018 was no different though. 2018 was a very speculative time period, people getting in and buying into certain books based on movies and TV shows, in large part thanks to just the rise of the Marvel Universe. They couldn't miss. Every single movie they put out was like $1 billion movie. I mean, it was incredible. The comic book industry, Marvel, and everything kind of moving along with the movies, the Avengers stuff, the Hulk stuff, like all the stuff they were bringing out, it was just hitting. Guardians of the Galaxy, winning. You know, I mean, like everything was just working. Going back in time, 2018, 19, 20, 21. Now, of course, we've hit a phase where Marvel, DC, they've kind of overstayed their welcome from a content standpoint. Too much content that's just not very good. Look, you can have too much or a lot of content, but if it's not any good, that's where there becomes a problem. Especially because attention, eyeballs, it's harder than ever to get people to sit down and watch a movie, to watch a YouTube video, let alone a movie. So attention is being kind of disjointed everywhere. So Marvel and DC, they're paying the price for that. The rise of YouTube, the rise of IG, the rise of social media. People are spending a lot more time on social media than they ever have previously, and that has an effect on some of that newer content. If it's not good, people will not watch it. You'll see like X-Men 97, good content, and it's doing well, and people are watching it, and people are talking about it. The social media is a big wave. You know, if the content is good, social media follows it, and it's a big wave. It's a snowball effect. Comic books have been propped up a lot over the last few years around a movie that's going to make it special, of a video game or a TV show that's going to make it special. But the truth is that these characters are already special on their own. If you're going back, I've been so close here recently, I announced on my last video, almost bought an Amazing Spider-Man 1 in I believe it's in a 3.5. It's got writing on the cover, which is where I'm just stuck, where I don't necessarily want to buy it. It's not that I don't want to buy it, it's just that scribble on the cover, it kills me. I'm only going to have one copy of Amazing Spider-Man 1. And I don't want that one copy to have writing on the cover. So I'm really struggling badly with that one, but the price point is very good. It's a very fair price point for a huge book. It's a huge book for me anyway. Now, maybe some people might say, Amazing Spider-Man. That's not Amazing Fantasy 15, which that's fine. It's not. But Amazing Spider-Man 1 for me would be a huge get. And I'm struggling with that one because I want it. The price point is right. And it just might not be the right copy for me. Just like sports card folks counting on player performance, they're underestimating the hype. They're underestimating the speculation that's already in on a player or could go in on a player. Most of the pricing that you're seeing today, whether it be comic books, video games, sports cards, non-sports cards, it revolves around excitement, hype, speculation, not about player performance or the recently, it's not riding. Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Amazing Fantasy 15 are not or should not be riding on the back of, is the next Spider-Man movie going to be good? It's already a legendary character. Michael Jordan is already a legendary player. Wilt Chamberlain, take your pick, whoever this is. Babe Ruth, already a legendary figure. There isn't anything needed to add to this. So everything is just around hype, excitement, speculation, and that's what drives these market prices. So we can't be stupid about this. And then the other part of this is, again, I've been talking about this recently. The one thing that's unique to the comic book space is I keep on seeing, and more so than sports cards, because what I'm not seeing as much of is 48 Leaf Jackie Robinsons being found, or 52 Topps Mickey Mantles being found out in collections. Sure, they're being found, but not at the same rate as Amazing Spider-Man 1 from 1963 or Hulk 1, 63. Maybe a little bit newer, maybe because it's not from the 40s or the 50s, it's a little easier to find, but I'm seeing a hell of a lot of ungraded copies of X-Men 1, Amazing Spider-Man 1, Uncanny X-Men 181, first appearance of Wolverine. I'm seeing a hell of a lot of copies that are not graded. And guess what, my friends? Whether you like it, don't like it, you believe that the comic book is encapsulated, it's in a tomb that it has to be broken out of, eventually it will arrive back in a graded tomb, if you will. And that's where money will be spent on that thing based on the authentication, the grade, etc., the quality of the book. So I know that we're still behind sports cards and trading cards in this way when we look at the comic book market, but it is coming. It can't be stopped. It is like, for comic book folks, it is literally Thanos. Snap, and they all become graded. I mean, but that is really what it's going to be in the future. I know that many people nowadays will say, like, you're crazy, that's not going to happen, but that's exactly what sports card folks were saying in 1995 and 2000. And now there's 15 million trading cards graded every year, maybe 15 to 17 million, 15 to 20 million. It's a huge, huge number. And so for me personally, and I'm looking at all this ungraded supply, I'm like, should I reach a little bit on this Amazing Spider-Man 1? Because I want a copy. But then I look at the census. And there's about 3,500 or so Amazing Spider-Man 1s on the census. And I understand some have been cracked out, resubmitted, so it's not actually 3,500. Maybe it's 2,500 or 2,000 because there's a lot of kind of resubs and that sort of thing. It's an extremely, extremely important book. I want to own a copy. It's just, man, I'm struggling with the fact that I keep on seeing that there are more and more of these keys, and keys that we see on the top 10 YouTubers, the comic book YouTubers that are coming out with the top 10 reports, hottest books, and sales. Again, I'll give credit to Comic Tom. He's been doing that for 6 or 7 years. He's been doing kind of his top 10, but he's given us census information. He's giving us information. Those guys are giving us information around how many more added to the census. And I can tell you, just because I've been watching this for a few years, that census for graded comic books has grown dramatically. And a lot of the pricing, I believe, is just held up by the fact that there are a lot of folks that are not selling based on the fact that maybe they're not at the price point that they want to sell, but it's not because they're rare or that there's a low supply. So it's not as if you're buying, a particular book, even the one I'm talking about, which I believe is one of the major keys, Amazing Spider-Man 1, we get all this information about the keys, right? A real key is Amazing Spider-Man 1. not, some random minor key. First appearance of Dazzler. First appearance of Dazzler is not a key book because Taylor Swift might play her in a movie. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous. Amazing Spider-Man 1 is a key book. First appearance of Dazzler is not one. That's a manufactured key book. And so anyway, it's a book that I want. I don't know what prices are going to do in the future. I don't know. Again, you got the supply-demand thing. So yes, there could be more supply, but here's the other thing. There could be way more demand that drives those books up in price. So it is a cluster. I don't know exactly what to do, but we can't be stupid and not realize that there is a lot of still ungraded supply out there that will get graded. Even if the dealer is, hey, we're an ungraded, but we're not grading these books. We're purists. We're purists. We're not going to grade. Well, guess what? It's just a matter of time before it's sitting in a slab. It doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter about your feelings. They will eventually be in a slab, whether it's 1 year from now, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. It's happening. The market has spoken. The people have spoken, and they want those key books that are in a good condition. Let me also wrap in the fact that, hey, look, if you have an Amazing Spider-Man 1 that the cover's torn off and they're, whatever, I don't know, like the whole thing is demolished, it's a reader copy, then fine. Maybe it's not going to go in a slab. I'm all about reading comic books, so it's not about the, I hate reading. I'm illiterate and I can't read. But the truth is that these are historical artifacts in my view. This is going to sound dramatic. Again, the Mona Lisa, it's a one of one. It's kept in, glass and security and everything else because it's an important historical piece. I look at these books the same way. Hulk 1, Amazing Spider-Man 1, Amazing Fantasy 15, these are massive. Fantastic Four 1. If we look in the grand scheme of things for pop culture, these are absolute relics. Like, they have to be kept. To me, in my opinion, they need to be kept and preserved in good condition. And there's going to be price points attached to that based on the grade and the quality of the book. So anyway, guys, what do you think about this? I know that I'm a little bit all over the place, but supply still unknown, ungraded copies, because I keep on seeing it all over IG. We found a new collection. We keep on finding all this new stuff that's not graded. Why am I in a hurry to run out there and grab that next copy? I'm just not. I'm not. For me personally, I will pick them up, the ones that I want, but I'm just not in a massive hurry. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, my friends. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.